Today we are counting down 9 Harley-Davidson motorcycles that dealers are trying to dump as fast as possible. These are bikes that were supposed to be home runs, but instead turned into showroom ghosts, sitting untouched while discounts keep getting deeper. Some were overhyped, some were overpriced, and some simply launched into a market that had already moved on. Stick around because number 1 is the motorcycle that was marketed as the bold future of Harley-Davidson, yet quietly became one of the most difficult units for dealers to move in the modern era. Let's get started. Number 9, Breakout 117. When Harley rolled out the Breakout 117, it looked like a guaranteed win. Long rake, massive 240 rear tire, deep chrome stretch tank. This was factory custom attitude straight off the showroom floor. Underneath the styling sits the Milwaukee 8 117 engine, delivering enormous torque and aggressive straight-line pull. In a drag race from light to light, it feels strong and dramatic. The bike looks powerful, even parked. But performance on paper does not always translate to daily usability. That oversized rear tire makes low-speed handling heavy. Tight turns require effort. The long wheelbase exaggerates the feeling. Forward controls stretch the rider into a laid-back position and that looks great in photos, but becomes tiring on longer rides. Suspension travel is limited, and cornering clearance disappears quickly when the road gets twisty. Then comes the price conversation, with the manufacturer's suggested retail price pushing into the mid-$20,000 range. In many markets, buyers start cross-shopping aggressively. For similar money, they can buy a lowrider S with sharper handling, or step into a street glide that offers real wind protection and long-distance comfort. The Breakout attracts attention on the floor. People sit on it. They take pictures. But when it is time to commit, practicality wins. Dealers are finding that these bikes often linger longer than expected, forcing incentives to bring buyers back to the table. The Nightster Special was designed to bring younger riders into Harley dealerships. Powered by the Revolution Max 975T engine and producing around 90 horsepower, it offers ride modes, traction control, an anti-lock braking system, and a full-color TFT display. On paper, it is modern, approachable, and lighter than traditional cruisers, but it falls into an identity trap. Experienced riders see it as underpowered compared to larger Milwaukee 8 models. New riders see a price hovering near $13,000 to $14,000 and begin comparing it to Japanese naked bikes that offer more horsepower and proven reliability for less money. Styling also divides opinion. It blends classic cues with modern lines, but ends up feeling restrained rather than exciting. Dealers hoped the Nightster would become the new entry point for the brand. Instead, many are discovering that it is a harder sell than expected, especially when buyers start looking at the broader market. Enjoying the video? Please help out the channel by subscribing and liking the video. It helps me make more videos like this. Number 7, Fat Bob 114. The Fat Bob was Harley's attempt to inject aggression into the Softail lineup. Squared LED headlight, inverted front forks, dual front disc brakes, a muscular, almost industrial stance that broke away from traditional chrome-heavy cruiser design. Powered by the Milwaukee 8 114 engine, it delivers strong, low-end torque and better braking performance than many of its siblings. On paper, it might be one of the most capable riding softails Harley has produced in the last decade. But styling is a risk. Traditional Harley loyalists often call it too modern, too angular, not classic enough. Performance-focused riders compare it to lighter competitors from other brands and notice the weight immediately. At pricing that frequently lands in the high teens to low 20s, depending on trim and dealer fees, buyers start asking tough questions. It is not comfortable enough for real touring. It is not light enough for aggressive canyon riding, and it does not carry the nostalgic styling that drives emotional purchases. That leaves it stuck between audiences. Dealers report that while the Fat Bob generates curiosity, conversion rates are inconsistent. As newer performance-oriented models like the Lowrider S gain traction, the Fat Bob quietly lost showroom momentum. The Road King Special carries undeniable heritage. It has hard saddlebags, blacked-out finishes, and a classic front end without a fixed fairing. Powered by the Milwaukee 8114 engine, it delivers strong highway torque and that unmistakable big twin presence. Online, it receives praise for its clean bagger look. In real-world dealerships, the story becomes more complicated. Touring-focused buyers often realize they want wind protection and a full infotainment system, pushing them toward the street glide or road glide. Riders who want a minimalist cruiser often look at softail models that are lighter and less expensive. The Road King Special ends up sitting in the middle, too expensive to be considered simple and not equipped enough to be considered full touring. With pricing regularly climbing above $25,000, buyers begin comparing features per dollar very closely. Dealers can move them, but often only with incentives or accessory credits. The Heritage Classic once felt like the safe choice. Vintage-inspired styling paired with modern engineering, removable windshield, saddlebags, and a comfortable upright riding position. Powered by the Milwaukee 8114 engine, it delivers smooth torque and relaxed cruising manners. But over time, price increases changed its positioning. As the cost approached touring territory, buyers began asking why they should not spend slightly more for a street glide with better wind protection, larger infotainment, and more long-distance comfort. At the same time, riders seeking simplicity found that a standard softail offered similar torque for less money. The Heritage Classic did not fail mechanically. It simply became squeezed between categories in a lineup that overlaps heavily. Dealers now find that what used to be an easy sell requires negotiation and incentives to move. Enjoying the video? Please help out the channel by subscribing and liking the video. It helps me make more videos like this. Number 4, Freewheeler. The Freewheeler is Harley-Davidson's stripped-down trike. No full touring fairing, no massive top trunk, just 3 wheels, a low stance, and Milwaukee 8114 torque pushing it forward with authority. On paper, it fills a smart gap. It gives riders who want stability an option that feels less bulky than the full touring tri-glide. The seat height is low, the riding position is relaxed, the look is more aggressive than traditional trikes. But here is the reality. Most trike buyers are not chasing stripped-down styling. They are chasing comfort, storage, and security on long rides. When they compare the Freewheeler to the Tri-Glide, many decide that if they are already spending over $30,000, they might as well get the full touring package. At the same time, riders who are still comfortable on 2 wheels often hesitate to move into a trike at all. That leaves the Freewheeler serving a very narrow slice of the market. It is not a bad machine. It is simply specialized. Dealers in retirement-heavy regions can move them steadily. In many other markets, they sit longer than expected, requiring incentives or aggressive trade offers to close deal. The Road Glide Limited was built for serious miles. It has a shark nose fairing mounted to the frame, a full tour pack, heated grips, and a premium infotainment system. Powered by the Milwaukee 8-114 engine, it offers smooth torque and excellent highway stability. For long-distance riders, it remains one of the most comfortable platforms Harley offers. So why does it struggle? Buyer taste has shifted toward cleaner, lighter-looking baggers. The added trunk and bulk of the Limited now feel excessive to many riders, especially younger buyers who prefer the sleeker profile of a Road Glide Special. Price is another factor, with many units pushing past $30,000. Depending on configuration, buyers begin to evaluate whether they truly need the extra storage and passenger features. Many conclude that a special model delivers most of the experience with less weight and lower cost. The Limited still sells, but it takes time. Time on a showroom floor costs dealers money. Number 2, CVO Road Glide. This is where the numbers become difficult. The CVO Road Glide represents the top tier of factory customization. It features a Milwaukee 8-121 engine, exclusive paint schemes, premium finishes, high-end audio, and upgraded suspension. On paper, it is the ultimate factory bagger, but with pricing pushing toward $50,000 in many markets, buyers pause immediately. For the cost of one CVO Road Glide, a buyer could purchase a standard Road Glide and invest heavily in aftermarket upgrades tailored exactly to their taste. Resale value compounds the hesitation. The buyer pool for used CVO models is small, and depreciation hits hard once the bike leaves the dealership. Dealers love the attention it attracts. They do not love how long it can sit before the right buyer appears. Number 1, Pan America 1250 Special. This was the bold move, the statement, the signal that Harley-Davidson was ready to compete outside its comfort zone. The Pan America 1250 Special entered the adventure segment, dominated by brands with decades of off-road credibility. Powered by the Revolution Max 1250 engine producing roughly 150 horsepower, it came loaded with ride modes, cornering ABS, traction control, semi-active suspension, and adaptive ride height that lowers the bike at stops. On paper, it is impressive, fast, technologically advanced, capable both on pavement and off it. But the challenge was never horsepower. It was trust. Adventure riders are some of the most brand-loyal riders in motorcycling. They value proven durability, global dealer networks, and platforms refined over decades of field testing. Harley-Davidson entered as an outsider. Early reports of electronic glitches and suspension quirks, even though many were addressed through updates, created hesitation. In the adventure world, reputation matters more than marketing. Then comes pricing. Once equipped with popular options, the Pan America Special pushes well into the mid-$20,000 range. That places it directly against established category leaders with stronger off-road reputations and deeper adventure heritage. Traditional Harley buyers often found it too different from the cruisers and baggers they love. Dedicated adventure riders often questioned long-term reliability and resale value. That left the Pan America in a difficult position, too unconventional for the core audience, too unproven for the new one it was targeting. Sales slowed after the initial curiosity wave. Inventory began building in certain regions. Dealers who once celebrated Harley-Davidson's expansion into a new category started offering incentives and discounts to move units. The Pan America is not a failure of engineering. It is a case study in market fit. Launching into a new segment requires more than competitive specs. It requires credibility that takes years to build, and that is why today, despite its capability, it remains one of the toughest motorcycles for many Harley dealerships to move consistently. And that wraps up our list of 9 Harley-Davidson motorcycles that dealers are trying to dump faster than they expected. Do you agree with the list? Have you seen any of these models sitting untouched at your local dealership? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more real-world Harley breakdowns, and we will see you in the next one.